Along with the loss of laughter came a confusion of my faith. I had always wanted to spend time in a monastery, and considering my spiritual state, it couldn't have come at a better time. The Abbey of Gethsemani in Trappist, Kentucky was a Catholic monastery and home of 50 monks. Along with prayer and labor, the Gethsemani monks were known for making and selling bourbon fudge, cheese, and fruitcake. The first day of my visit, I met Father Damien, the 70-year-old guest master. In his office, I told him of my quest, and then asked for his advice on my time at the monastery. He said, "I'd encourage you to sit in silence as much as possible while you are here. However, you have to be patient." It took me 3 years before experiencing the real benefits of silence. Well, I thought to myself, I have 2 weeks.
So I'm breaking the silence. Last night was rough, and the bell, which my room was right next to it, rings every couple hours throughout the night. The monks get up at 3:15 for a vigil service, and then 5 o'clock, and then 6 o'clock, and then 7. So every couple hours they have a service of some kind.
After a week of seclusion from outside stimulation, I couldn't bear the isolation, and I looked for opportunities to interact with the monks. One night, as the sun kissed the distant horizon, I met Brother Christian from Boston setting up an 8-foot-long barrel-sized telescope with his friend, who I came to refer to as Kentucky. Brother invited me to look through the telescope at the rising moon. We took turns, Brother Christian, Kentucky, and me. I hesitated each time they located a new star formation, waiting for them to have first looks. Brother Christian found one of his favorite formations known as M16. They spoke their own language of constellations and classifications. In between glimpses through the telescope, I'd get in a few questions.
Been stargazing for 35 years? 50 years?
Yeah, 50 or 51.
I asked them, "What's kept your interest all this time?" "For beauty," Brother said. "It's just the beauty of it. What's God up to up there?" I whispered the question to myself, for beauty, wondering if it is enough of a reason to sustain an activity like this for 50 years. Beauty. It's a good enough motivation, I suppose, perhaps the ultimate objective to do anything, but it also doesn't seem like enough at times, or the only reason for life, or for being in this world. Regardless, in that moment, with these men, that night, beauty was more than enough. A simple prayer of thanksgiving rose inside of me. From the silence of my heart, the emptiness of my faith, I said, "For beauty." Brother Christian pointed to a spot by the Big Dipper, where, he explained, the Hubble telescope focused on that dark space for 10 hours. Astronomers initially thought it was a rather unremarkable section, but they looked into a sliver of space the size of a dime, flattened between an index finger and thumb, extended at arm's length toward the sky. And in that small, empty space between two fingers, after 10 hours of focused imaging, they discovered thousands of galaxies. Under a fading moon, as a monk described random acts of beauty, I was overcome with a realization, a revelation even. Maybe my faith is like that, a deep, dark field in empty space. Maybe on the surface, at least to the naked eye and natural means, there isn't much happening in my spiritual life. But with patient focus, peering into silence, galaxies would appear like fields of flowers against a dark green canvas and cast across the quiet interior of my life. When I completed my work at the monastery, my visit with the monks and the moon, I regrouped once again back in Cincinnati and continued my reflection on my breadcrumb conversations and recordings.
So at what point did you realize, did you find your laugh? Do you remember finding your laugh? And you're like, oh, I found it.
No, I don't remember how I found it. I just remember laughing.
And then you said, this is my laugh?